Sweetheart, stop breathing for a second. Stop scrolling. Stop texting him back. Stop everything. Because in the next 15 seconds I'm going to hand you the single most addictive, dangerous, life-changing feeling you can ever inject into a man's bloodstream. The quiet, bone-deep, paralyzing terror that he might actually lose you forever and never recover. Not fake tears. Not petty games. Not screaming matches. Just pure, elegant, untouchable feminine certainty that makes him wake up at 3:17 a.m. in a cold sweat checking if you've opened his message. Makes him cancel boys' trips he planned 6 months ago. Makes him stare at his phone praying for the 3 little dots. Makes him terrified to ever take one single second of you for granted again. I discovered this power completely by accident the first time, then weaponized it on purpose every single time after. And tonight I'm laying the entire blueprint at your perfectly manicured feet so that by the time this video ends, he will be scared to even blink in case you vanish into the life you're building without him. I've watched grown millionaires who own islands panic text me at dawn. Professional athletes who have women throwing themselves at them beg on voice note. Emotionally unavailable kings who swore they'd never commit suddenly clear their schedules for months just to lock me down. All because they felt that exact fear crawl under their skin and nest there permanently. I've used this on Wall Street traders who close 9-figure deals before breakfast. On Grammy winners who have groupies in every city. On surgeons who've never chased a woman in their lives. On heirs who could buy anything except my attention when I decided to withdraw it. And every single time the result is the same. Within 14 days, he goes from comfortable, cocky, taking you for granted energy to full-blown possession. Obsession. Devotion that borders on worship. I once went silent on a guy in Mykonos who was used to women blowing up his phone 24/7. 72 hours later, he chartered a yacht. Found me at a beach club I never told him I'd be at. Walked straight up dripping wet from the sea. And said with actual fear in his eyes, "Are you done with me?" Another time in Manhattan, I disappeared on a situationship who kept saying he needed space. 4 days of pure radio silence while I lived my best life. Spa days. New lingerie photo shoots. Dinners with girlfriends. 0 stories. 0 replies. And on day 5, he showed up outside my building with flowers and a reservation at Carbone he waited 3 months for. Whispering I can't do this without you. I've had men fly commercial, just to see me for 4 hours. I've had men cancel board meetings in Singapore because the thought of me moving on without them was physically painful. Tonight I'm giving you the exact formula, the exact timing, the exact energy, the exact words when you resurface, so that the next time he even thinks about playing it cool, he remembers what it felt like when your peace no longer revolved around him. If you're tired of being the one who cares more, tired of being taken for granted, tired of double texting, tired of wondering where you stand, tired of feeling like an option instead of the prize, stay glued to this screen. Because tonight you stop chasing and start being chased like the rare, limited edition, once-in-a-lifetime woman you actually are. Hit that subscribe button and turn on every single notification right now. Because queens don't miss the masterclasses that turn men into devotees. Here's the brutal, beautiful truth no one dares to say out loud. The fastest, most foolproof way to make a man terrified of losing you is to become the one thing he can never control, never predict, and never survive without. Your own peace. Not your body. Not your sex. Not your attention. Your peace. The moment he realizes that your happiness, your glow, your laughter, your calendar, your entire universe no longer orbits around him. His entire nervous system goes into red alert survival mode. Because deep down every man knows the scariest woman alive is the one who is perfectly fine without him. Step 1 is the nuclear option, and it works every single time. Disappear completely for exactly 72 to 96 hours. No fights. No explanations. No I need space text. Just pure, elegant, luxurious silence while you live your hottest life. I did this in Capri with a guy who was starting to get lazy, answering me 6 hours later, canceling plans last minute, acting like my time was disposable. I went dark on a Thursday night. No stories, no likes, no replies, nothing. I was on a yacht with my girls, getting sun-kissed, drinking rosé at sunset, buying new bikinis he'd never see me in. On day 4, he sent 27 messages, 6 voice notes, and finally a paragraph that said him booking a flight. Tell me where you are. I can't do this. Another client did it to her boyfriend of 2 years, who stopped planning dates. She vanished for 4 days. Spa in Sedona. New hair. New energy. Zero contact. When she walked back into their apartment glowing, he dropped to his knees in the hallway and said, "I'll never take you for granted again." Step 2. When you finally resurface, be warmer, sweeter, sexier than ever, but completely unbothered. Like the silence never happened, and your happiness never depended on him anyway. Kiss him like you missed him. Then go make plans with your girls that same night. Let him taste heaven, and then remind him heaven has its own schedule. Step 3. Start building a life so rich, so full, so intoxicating that he has to fight for a seat at your table. Early workouts that make your body lethal. Brunches that last until dinner. New hobbies he knows nothing about. New lingerie he hasn't earned yet. New friends he's never met. New energy he can't quite place, but knows he's addicted to. I once started taking Italian lessons. Posting nothing. Just living. My ex-situationship saw me at a restaurant laughing in fluent Italian with a male instructor and lost his mind. Started learning the language himself just to keep up. The moment a man feels you slipping into a higher version of yourself that doesn't need his validation to shine. His brain floods with dopamine and cortisol at the same time. The perfect cocktail of obsession. He will start planning surprise trips, sending flowers on random Tuesdays, introducing you as my girlfriend to people he swore he'd never introduce anyone to. Anything to anchor you back to him before someone else realizes what he almost lost. I've seen men who ghosted for weeks suddenly write actual love letters. I've seen men who said I'm not the jealous type turn green when they saw me thriving without them. If you're scribbling this down right now, gorgeous, drop your favorite step in the comments so every queen watching knows exactly which weapon she's loading tonight. And when he finally comes running, when his texts go from lazy wid to 3 a.m., voice notes that crack with panic, when he's canceling his own birthday plans just to take you to dinner, when he's introducing you to his mother after swearing he never does that. That's when you lock it in forever and make the fear permanent in the most delicious way. You reward him, but only on your terms. Never all at once. Never completely. Always just enough to keep him starving for the next hit of you. You give him the best night of his life. The kind that leaves scratch marks down his back and his sheets ruined. Then disappear again for 24 hours just so he remembers what empty feels like. You let him plan the perfect date. Then show up looking like a fantasy he didn't know he was allowed to have. And leave before dessert so he spends the night replaying every second. You let him taste heaven. Then pull the gates closed just long enough for him to realize heaven has a password and only you know it. I did this with a man in London who told me on month 3 he wasn't ready for anything serious. I smiled, kissed his cheek, and went radio silent for 5 days while I flew to Paris. Stayed at the Ritz. Posted nothing. Lived everything. When I walked back into his flat glowing in New La Perla, he dropped to one knee in the hallway. Ring already in his pocket. Voice shaking. And said marry me before someone else realizes what I almost lost. Another client used the exact same rhythm on her boyfriend, who kept forgetting anniversaries. One weekend of pure worship from her. Then total absence while she went to Chillum with her girls. He picked her up at the airport on his knees with a custom Cartier bracelet and a promise he'd never be stupid again. The secret is the pendulum. Pull him close enough to feel safe. Then push him far enough to feel terror. Over and over. Until his brain rewires itself to associate any distance from you with physical pain. You become his favorite drug and his only withdrawal symptom. From this moment forward, you are no longer the girl who waits by the phone, Who over-explains? Who accepts half effort? Who shrinks to keep him comfortable? You are the woman whose peace is sacred, whose time is platinum, whose love is a privilege he has to earn every single day. You are the one he lies awake protecting, because the thought of another man breathing the same air as you makes him violent. You are the one he builds his future around, because losing you would mean losing the best part of himself. Walk into every room from now, unknowing your silence is louder than any argument. Your glow is sharper than any threat. Your happiness is the most expensive currency on earth, and he will bankrupt himself trying to keep you rich in it. Leave "I needed this queen" in the comments if you're ready to make him terrified of ever losing you. Turn on every single notification, because the next masterclass is even deadlier. And he'll see you at the very top, where the air is rare, the view is priceless, and the men who make it there spend the rest of their lives making sure you never leave. You were never meant to be an option. Darling, you were meant to be the woman he restructures his entire universe to keep. Now go make him scared to ever lose you.